Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively here to do our Wednesday show, which is sponsored by HB Neal Construction. Moving over to radar, we can see some showers and thunderstorms towards the Woodlands, Houston region, down towards Galveston. You move over there a little bit further east, go offshore, you can see some showers and thunderstorms slowly pushing towards the Jefferson County area, parts of southwest Louisiana. So we've got about 20% coverage right now, and that's really kind of what we're going to expect throughout the morning, picking up a little bit this afternoon, getting up to 30 to 40% coverage. Here is the last 6 hours on satellite and radar, sponsored by Modern Concrete Material. You can see we've got some spotty showers and thunderstorms across the state of Texas, mainly here in southeast Texas. A lot of this is currently offshore. This is some of that moisture that is slowly pushing further inland. And if you actually look further to the north, that is actually one of the old boundaries that we have been watching that went through Oklahoma. Really cool further to the north. Down here further south, we're still warm and humid, but some of that's going to be changing once we get to the end of the week, and we'll talk more on that here in a second. Do Good Credit Union showing us the current temperatures across the United States. Look how cool it is further to the north, up there in the 50s and 60s, but down here in southeast Texas, all the way to New Orleans, we are still warm and humid with 80 degrees in some areas, like Houston currently at 80 degrees, Beaumont at 73, down towards the coast, we are into the upper 70s to low 80s. Lake Charles currently at 73, Conroe off to a warm start at 76, and Spring at 80. Further to the north, if we get into the lakes regions like St. Augustine, they are down into the low 70s. Here's our construction forecast, sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. We know that we already have some of these isolated showers and storms across the region, so really kind of keep that in mind. This is just depending on how you look at it, good luck or bad luck if you're wanting the rain or not wanting the rain, but it will be very spotty and isolated during the morning hours, 20% coverage. As we get into the afternoon hours, that's when we expect 30 to 40% coverage. So really hit or miss showers and storms today, so keep that in the back of your mind for any outdoor activities that you have going on. Here's our temperature outlook for next week. Notice we're starting to see a little bit more blue on the map. That's because we have a pretty decent front that's going to be sweeping through a good portion of the United States. This front will also get into southeast Texas this Friday into Saturday, and we're going to see a lot of that humidity getting kicked out, and then our temperatures will get into the upper 80s possibly, and we'll talk about the lows coming up here in a minute on our 7-day forecast. It's going to be some really nice temperatures, fall-like temperatures, what we'll be seeing. Here's our next weather maker, sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. You can see that we've got that high pressure ridge just off to the west, but we still have the flow coming from the north. We're right next to the Gulf, so we still have that moisture coming in. You got the heat of the day, you got the moisture, we can get these isolated to scattered showers, right? Well, as we get to the end of the week, we're going to be watching this frontal boundary push into our region Friday evening into Saturday morning. So really good coverage of rain we're expecting on Friday evening. We're going to have to keep an eye on that for the Friday night lights that we have coming up. This is the first big week of football, so we will watch the showers and thunderstorms. Again, not everybody's going to get the rain, but this is a pretty decent line of showers and storms that will be moving through the area. And then on Saturday afternoon, that boundary will finally move offshore, setting the stage for a really nice Saturday night and a wonderful Sunday and Monday with humidity kicked out to the Gulf. And we can see that if we switch over to the atmospheric moisture, sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. Notice we have high levels of moisture today and tomorrow, but here comes that frontal boundary pushing into our area late Friday into Saturday morning. And then notice by Saturday afternoon into the evening time hours, all of that dry air is pushing into our region, setting the stage for a wonderful Saturday night, especially on Sunday and Monday. Good coffee drinking weather. You want to go outdoors and drink some coffee and the humidity is low and temperatures aren't too bad. You want to feel like fall. Sunday and Monday, definitely starting to really look like that. But let's switch over and look at the rainfall totals that we're looking at. This is somewhat of an early time to do this, but it's still showing that the heaviest rain is going to be from portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, getting into northern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But here locally in southeast Texas, we can get up to 1 inch to 2 inches of rain in some of these isolated areas. So a good portion, probably about a half an inch of rain, what we can see, but some of these isolated areas can get up to 1 to 2 inches of rain coming up on Friday into Saturday. Here's our rainfall outlook. We've got the 30 to 40% coverage today and again on tomorrow on Thursday. But as we get into Friday evening and on Saturday morning, 50 to 60% coverage comes into the region as that frontal boundary pushes in, bringing us pretty good coverage. But once it passes through, really nice Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday in store for us. Again, lower humidity, the big thing. High temperatures today will be into the low 90s. We might get into the mid 90s like Huntsville and Lufkin regions, but right now it looks like we're going to be stuck into the low 90s. We got the cloud cover, we got some of these isolated showers moving into the region, and a little bit of dry air coming in from that boundary further to the north. So this is keeping our temperatures down into the low 90s today. Really good for August. Low temperatures tonight up there towards the lakes region. St. Augustine could get to 68, 69 degrees. Currently showing it will be at 70. Down towards the I-10 corridor, we will be into the mid to upper 70s. Down towards the coast, you will be into the upper 70s to low 80s. And a good portion of southwest Louisiana will be into the mid 70s. Let's slide over to the tropics. This is really getting into peak season. Anytime from August 20th all the way through September, that is the time frame that we go into peak season. So we know that let me make sure that we can see this mouse, but we're getting into this stage here, right? So we're slowly going up. As we get into September 5th, 10th, and 15th, that is the time frame that we see the most tropical activity. So we're getting close to that time frame. But you know what's awesome is, here's our tropical development right now. Nothing is expected the next 5 to 7 days. Once we get into early September, we might start seeing some more waves coming west. But as of right now, dry air and some of this wind shear is really kind of keeping tropics in check. Now, we do have a tropical system, but it's not much of anything. That's Ferdinand right there. We're going to watch this become a post-tropical system probably in the next couple of hours today for sure. As we slide over, we can look towards Africa. Those are a series of waves we will be watching, but that's later down the road. That's not going to be an issue really in the next 10, 14 days. So we will keep an eye on it. It does look pretty nice right now coming off Africa. But again, lots of dry air still ongoing. Look at Africa. Look at all that dry air that's going to be moving westward. That's going to get into the Caribbean by this weekend. So there's still a good number of dry air. That's what's keeping tropics kind of in check the next 5 to 7 days. Sure, things could possibly start picking up once we get back into September. But Gulf-wise, we look quiet the next 7, if not 10 days. Absolutely wonderful. Here's our 7-day forecast. We've got rain today, very isolated to scattered. Once we get to Friday and into Saturday morning, we've got that frontal boundary pushing in, and that's going to bring us good coverage of showers and thunderstorms. We'll have to watch Friday night football. But notice those temperatures on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays. 87 degrees on Sunday, and look at our lows in the I-10 corridor down to 66 degrees on Monday. That's close to one of our records. So we could get close to our record lows coming up on Monday. Very nice fall-like weather. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. Cold front comes in on Friday and Saturday, bringing us good covers of showers and thunderstorms. Behind that front, dry air starts pushing in, kicking out that humidity. We wave goodbye to it for a couple of days, brings in some really nice temperatures. We've got college football this weekend. We've got fall-like temperatures coming in this weekend into early next week. Absolutely loving it. Hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. I'm meteorologist Johnny Lively. See y'all again tomorrow.